If you're a fan of the Z Fold 5, then you may want to watch this video because there's some interesting information. We got our first look at the Z Fold 6 with some leaked images, which they're from super reputable guy. He puts them out all the time on Leaks Fellows. And yeah, you can take a look at it right here. And this is what the Z Fold 6 is supposed to look like. Apparently it's going to have a more squared off appearance. It's going to have a slightly wider front screen, which I think people will be happy about, although I don't think it's going to be quite wide enough. And it's going to be a little bit lighter, Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, all that jazz, at least from everything that we're seeing. But there's a couple concerns that I have. One, well, they're talking about a possible price increase. And if you said this before the S24 came out, I would have been more skeptical, but they did it with the S24 Ultra and they bumped us up $100. So is it feasible that the Z Fold 6 goes up $100? And maybe not, but we're not going to find that out until, of course, the phone launches. I'm always hesitant to be too concerned about price point leaks because it seems like they're never right. So we'll see this year. I've got a pretty good batting average. I'm not making a prediction because I am worried they will raise the price. But what's important to me is it worth the increase in price with what we're getting for the phone? So Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, probably not going to be that big of a deal over the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. Of course, it's going to have the AI features. The big question, though, is will it have 7 years of support? Now, you might be thinking, can a foldable phone hold up for 7 years? I mean, it's got this basically a plastic screen that bends. It's got a crease in the middle. And could you use a phone like that for 7 years? Maybe. So we're on the Z Fold. This will be the 6. So we went through the Z Fold, the Fold 2, Fold 3, Fold 4, Fold 5. We're on the 6th generation of Z Folds. They're going to come out this year. Samsung basically pioneered this technology. They've got it down pretty good. I could see it. I could see them saying 7 years, but I'm a little hesitant on that as well because I have concerns. Like, I really don't think that the screen maybe can hold up for 7 years. I think maybe they might do something like 5 years. Like 5 years, maybe that might be good. Just stick with that. 5 years of operating system updates, 5 years of security patches. 5 and 5, I think, would probably make more sense. But hey, Samsung may shoot for the moon and they may go a full 7 years. And if they do, they're going to be the only ones in the industry offering that, which maybe that could be worth $100. So there's also talking about almost a 20-gram reduction in weight. And I think that the weight on the Z Fold is not so bad. It's just that it's kind of thin and narrow, so it feels more dense. But it looks like we're going to get, I think, about a 17-gram reduction, which kind of indicates we might be getting some titanium in there. So if they do the same thing that they did with the S24 Ultra, which is titanium, longer support, Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, and AI, those 4 critical things, then Samsung probably feels justified in raising it $100, especially when they still have the lion's share of the market share, especially United States. I don't know. That's probably something that they're going to want to do because they want to increase their profit margins as well. You've got OnePlus, they make foldables now. You've got Google, they make foldables now. So anything you can do to try and squeak more money out, especially if you're going to offer longer support. Longer support means you have to, of course, support it longer, which means manpower and resources and software updates. So that stuff costs money. So if you add a couple extra years, that makes sense. But also, it means people will upgrade less often. And I think when you have a $1,700, $1,800, $1,900 phone, people are not very apt to update every year. I know a lot of people with like the S23, S24, S22, you feel more compelled, especially because the price point is lower, $799 to $1,299. But when you look at a $1,700, $1,800, $1,900 phone, that's not a year-over-year update. And Samsung is less apt to give us significant updates in the year-over-year department. Plus, we'll get a brighter screen and all that stuff too. But what I'm really holding out hope for is, can we finally get the digitizer built into the front screen that allows us to use the S Pen? The S Pen on the front screen, to me, is the big feature that's been missing out for a long time, ever since the Z Fold 3 came out. And I've thought every year we were going to get it, and the rumors were pointing to it last year, just like the rumors were pointing to an internal S Pen last year, and that didn't happen. So you always have to take these things with a grain of salt. But with the first look, I feel pretty confident with the images just because these guys are spot on and like the #1 people on the internet that get these things early. And we're very close. And if they got the images 4 months ago and they're like, here's the Z Fold 6, I would be more skeptical. But we know that it's going to launch in July. presumably at the end of July when the Olympics start, somewhere around there. So we're about into the 5 to 6 week territory of probably having this in our hands. So I think the Unpacked event will probably be sometime in the middle of July. I saw some dates on it the other day, but I don't want to talk about that just yet because one, I don't remember what the date was, but I think it was like the 10th of July or 14th, somewhere around there, and then it was going to launch like on the 26th at the end of the month. But anyway, we'll see about that. But yeah, I'm concerned about the price increase, and we'll see what happens with the phone. The other big concern I have is all the leaks and the things I'm seeing talking about specs point to the same cameras again. And I'm not happy about that. And that's one thing. It's like we're going, what, third, fourth year of the exact same cameras in the phone. We're due for an upgrade. Like nobody has, like you don't see this in normal phones. Normal phones don't get the same cameras for 3, 4 years in a row. Like very, very seldom. So to have a cutting edge phone that costs you about $2,000 to have the same cameras 3, 4 years in a row, that's not cool. So I hope that's wrong, but I'm about 99% certain that we're going to see the same cameras again. And the cameras aren't bad. Like they really aren't. You got a telephoto, you got an ultra wide, the primary camera. I've taken some fantastic photos with my Z Fold 5. I took great photos with the Z Fold 4. You're still going to have the improvements with the image signal processor with the chip. You're still going to have improvements with the computational photography and the AI developments that have gone along with it. So it should still be the best version of itself yet. But how many years are we going to drag this out, especially in such an expensive phone? Like the phone ain't cheap. So those are my concerns. Price and cameras, everything else, okay, whatever. I don't think too many people are going to be running to the store to throw their Z Fold 5 on the desk to get a Z Fold 6. But hey, if you're in the Z Fold 3, Z Fold 4, Z Fold 2 department, then yeah, it's probably going to be a good upgrade. And that's kind of how we look at these things. With any new phone, if it's been 1 year, you're probably not going to be upgrading unless you're just an enthusiast, or you're somebody who just has to have the latest and greatest, and that's fine. Spend your money however you want. YOLO. I do the same thing. But yeah, as far as a prudent upgrade, of course it won't be, but there'll be some niceties. But still, I have some concerns, like I said, price, and then we'll see about the cameras and certain things like that. But I don't have warm fuzzies about it, and I certainly don't like any time whenever we have a price increase on a phone, especially whenever it doesn't have some major upgrades like, new cameras and stuff. So that's all I got in this video. As you can see, I'm back in the Tech Odyssey studio, back from Vegas. I had my trip with my wife. It's kind of a Father's Day trip thing. Thankfully, we had a nice, safe, uneventful trip, but unfortunately, my wife was very sick for like 3 days because my son, when we came back from New York, was patient zero and got her sick. So like the day we left, she started getting sick. And then she basically spent like 2 days in bed. So like for my Father's Day weekend trip, I was down in the HyperX Arena playing Valorant with my kids online back home. But we had a good time, ate some good food. It was always nice to go out there and see some friends, eat some food. I love Vegas. If y'all have watched my channel any amount of time, y'all know that's like my home away from home. So thanks a lot for everything. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching the videos all the time. It means the world to me. It allows me to do what I can do. If you enjoyed the videos, of course, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out, except I skipped yesterday. I do apologize for that. Our flight left like right in the middle of the day, and I just didn't have time to get one done, and I didn't want to force something. I've told y'all before, on days that I have nothing to say, I will not make a video. And it was a combination of traveling, and I just couldn't think of anything meaningful to make a video about, and I'm not going to waste your time. That's not what I do here. So if I have something relevant, then I will bring it to you. But if not, then yeah, there's no point in wasting your time or mine. So that's all I got. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. Have a wonderful Father's Day. I'll see you guys next time.